We live?
We live, baby.
All right.
It's
You are
him.
live on all platforms.
Yeah.
On everything.
Mama,
Yes,
we made it.
you're tuned into another episode of the 30
The
Plus
30 Plus
Podcast.
Podcast. Yeah, what is y'all
Live
doing?
episode. Actually, that was you. You were behind.
Nah,
That was you.
nah,
But that's
y'all
okay.
live.
We don't. No.
Our usual. We move. Come on,
Maybe
Nick.
next time. Maybe next time you'll pay attention and be in decency and in order. But you tuned into the live episode 30 podcast live episode recap. We talk love, life, and lessons after 30. It's your girl Nika X, aka the Pink Starburst General, aka Neek Millie.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Fly, aka Microphone Mike, aka Fly Sis Birth, aka Fly Self Stuff.
AKA Fly Full of.
Nah, not no more.
Hi. It's your girl, Miss Cookie Baby.
Please say that, baby.
Please say the baby. This is essential like water.
Okay. But it's the 30 plus podcast. We talk love, life, and lessons after 30. And we're going to get into our previous episode discussing courtship after 30. But before we do that, how's everyone doing on this Monday evening?
I'm feeling all right, feeling good, a little tired, I feel like my weekend was like long and short at the same time. You know?
Yeah. I agree. I'm a second that. I am overstimulated, overwhelmed. I am over the overs, all the overs. Yeah.
Okay, 30 plus now. How you feeling,
Yeah.
Nick?
I'm good.
Straight up, I'm good. Well, I'm good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Me
man,
too.
making a list and checking it twice. So, yeah.
Okay.
Amen.
Yes, indeed. So, hope it get better for y'all. That's all I got.
I mean, it's cool.
These weeks are always, this month is always like that, because of taxes and people sending W-2s in the morning and like asking every 30 minutes, have you got to it? Sugar does a line. There were those who were smart and swift and reserved early. You're going to get in where you feel in. And if it's not swift, there are other tax preparers that are probably open. Go see them. And that's why I'm at with
She
that.
gonna do it, huh?
Yeah, and it's also busy time with my organization. Easter coming up, Palm Sunday, it's been a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been forgetting about Easter.
Oh, it's on 420 this year.
Yeah.
Okay, Heathen.
Okay. Could be a high rabbit out here.
What about the Lord? You may say that about the Lord. What about a rabbit? He childish.
He already been back, so.
Oh no.
Whew.
I'm so glad we go individually when we judged. As a collective, we
I'm just saying.
Yeah, because you're not going to have me guilty by association.
Bring her with me. Bring her with me. What you talking about?
Ain't no
one side, one battle.
No,
one side, one
no
band.
Ain't no central AC in there.
No central AC. You ain't even getting a window unit, okay?
Yeah. That's eternity. No.
We're struggling with the heat now.
Okay. Yes, indeed.
No, we don't rock with you, Sugar. You are responsible for your own soul.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not rocking with you in that moment. I am. I've done all I can do. I've been the lady for as long as I could to.
What Donnie McClurkin said, after you done all you can.
Just saying. Yes, indeed.
That's it. He got it. We rooting for you, Mike.
Anyway.
Well, now, what's our problem?
Ride or dies.
You need a spiritual father, Sugar. That's not our ministry. Neither one of us signed up to be in that ministry at all.
That ain't my problem.
That sounds like a PP to me.
A big one.
And now that you know that.
That's crazy. It's all right. I'm going to come back and get y'all.
I'm good. What part of that are you missing?
Look at me tell me, are you?
One sound, one band, one band, one
No.
sound.
Put the headphones on both of your ears, because clearly you can't hear this evening. I'm
Can't hear,
good.
can't read, left and right. See,
Maybe you
Oh
need
man, that's funny.
both sides to chime in. No.
Right, so I can hear.
Yeah, because clearly there's a
I don't.
disconnect. Just
a
like it
big
was
one.
on this
Man.
episode. And so
Oh,
nothing
What are we
changed
talking about?
between Thursday and today.
What happened?
you.
You're the problem.
Nope, I ain't the problem. Only thing that changed, I done had a couple conversations with people about courtship that made me double down on my beliefs.
Okay. Well, before we get into that, let's just go and give a brief synopsis on the episode. So, on the last episode of 30 Plus Podcast, where we talk love, life, and lessons after 30, we discussed courtship after the age of 30. Is it necessary? What does it look like? How do you feel about it? And in normal 30 Plus Podcast fashion, Fly had a whole different thought process than the ladies of the podcast. And that's okay. There's no wrong answers in this podcast. That's what makes it beautiful. However, there are some disagreements as it stands on courtship and what it looks like after the age of 30. So anybody want to jump in and give their thoughts or something they may have left out on the episode?
Cookie?
Only thing I got to say is I should have cussed you out because I went back and listened and got mad all over again. I was like, why? I just thought about the various things that Nick and I do on a day to day that are very important, and the fact that you took some of that breath from us to go through that walk with you, and you knew what you was doing. It just really just agged me that it took you 53 minutes and 11 seconds to come to an agreement. Like you just like
Right.
being the black sheep, and it was annoying. And then I forgot after that, after because I listened to it Thursday and I listened to it again Friday, and I forgot the turmoil we went through with that. So as I began in true cookie fashion, sending it out again to disturb people yesterday, it backfired because everybody was disturbing me with their commentary. I was like, hey, we got a whole segment for that tomorrow. I don't want to talk about it right now. You was wilding. You was
I don't
wilding. And
feel. I'm definitely going to disagree with that.
we know you disagree with everything.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
Right.
we said what we said. Quarter by.
Right. The same. I said what I said, and you heard what I said. We are not about to. I'm not. I feel like definitely nothing has changed when it comes to me and the definition of courting or even hearing the word. I just really that the sound of the word just really irritates my soul. And I do feel like it's the same. Like there's only certain type of women that use that word. And when I had a discussion with somebody today about it, even they were like, "Okay, you're right," but they feel like y'all didn't even attack me on the different side of it, on the reverse side of the courtship. Like what the man gets out of the courtship, or why men should be courted as well. But that
Who
was not
attacked
my
you?
discussion.
Time out, because you out here being a false prophet to one of these little fans you got. Who attacked you on, first of all, her and I both, what we ask for, we give. So to say that we're attacking a man that they don't get courted is crazy. And you
Y'all feel like
know
men get
better.
courted? No, that's a real question. Do you feel like men get courted? How do you feel like men get courted if women are the one
Are
who
we
actually court?
using are we using your definition? Because you don't like the word. So
No,
you're
you're
gonna have
using a true definition, the definition that came out of Webster.
Yes, I do
That's
feel
the
like
that's
we date men with the intention of being married because that's what the definition of
so
courtship.
that's
Yeah, we
okay.
do.
Are
We
you
do.
courting? No, women do not date men to marry them 90% of the time. They date them to see what they can get up out of them, and then that leads to them maybe getting married if the
you
dude
can see
feels
what
like
they
he
get
got
out
enough.
of them. I think you're
That's
making
what
it
it's become.
financial. It sounds financial.
No. It's definitely
It
not
sounds
financial.
hurt.
No, it
What do we
doesn't. It
what,
Of
so
course it
you
is out
saying
of them is like seeing how you can make him go about doing the things that you want done. That's what it
How
is
you
basically.
can go about, that's not how that works. You're making
That's
it
what.
so it's a woman's
So
set of
I'm at.
rules.
So yes, they set rules. Courtship women set rules to how they want it to be courted. There's
Mm.
not a man who set rules and say you have to court me this way or talk to you this way. I mean, well, according to that girl, I do that, but I don't. I
Oh,
don't
hold on,
think I
hold on,
do
time
that.
out. Put a pin right there. So the same witness that you're bringing to testify on your behalf still told you what we said, and then you're now
I wasn't
backtracking because
testifying
you
on my
realize
word. I first of all, nobody was testifying on my behalf. I was telling you their thoughts and words because nobody can talk for me besides me. But
no, I'm
they were
saying you
telling me
said
how
that,
they felt
yeah, and they felt
about
we
the
were bullying you.
episodes.
That's the verbiage you
No,
use.
I didn't say those words
Girl, I'm
at
so glad
all.
we record everything. I am so
I
glad.
didn't
I
say those words.
can't wait till he
So
goes to watch this. Okay.
I can't either.
I'm sorry, you're right. You
But
did not say
anyway,
bullied. You said attacked. You're right. You said
regardless.
attacked.
I've
Well, let's
never
clear
heard
it
of
up.
a
So it wasn't an attack, right? I'm correct. So basically, they were saying that we just didn't tackle it from the other side of what the men get out of courtship. Is what you're saying?
yes, that's all she said. Yes.
Um, I don't know if that was for us to tackle in that regard. I mean, because as a man, I think we did ask you in an episode on your thoughts for that, and you were just so anti courtship that you never really discussed getting something out of it. And I also did bring up reciprocation. So, I mean, even if we take it from courtship and take it from that ideology, if the idea and the end goal is marriage, yeah, you're going to get something out of it because even biblically speaking, it said a man who findeth a wife findeth a good thing to receive favor from the Lord. So, yeah, you're going to have to do a little bit more than the woman, but that doesn't mean the woman just sits back and just receives everything. I
All
think you
right.
see wife in the woman. So when you see that, she's gonna feel your needs, helpmate. So I think that's what you're getting out of it, and they're gonna feel the needs, and that's not one streamlined answer for all men. I think if you're a mate for that particular man and you're a helpmate, then you're going to fill in the gaps of what that man needs. So I don't have a straight answer for that because one man might require this, another man might require that. So that's
So
my
would you
thoughts
feel like
on it.
that's courtship? So is that
Yes,
courtship for a man? Is that's how you perceive you're courting him? What like
yes,
you know what I mean? So do you feel it's
yes.
equal? Men get courted the same. I don't feel like courtship even applies to men. To me, courtship is strictly for women. Like it's not a thing that a man acts like he doesn't ask a woman to court him. He doesn't say you have to court me to marry me. Like it's not even a man's vocabulary term. That's something that a woman
Right,
says.
right. I
But
agree with that.
So how,
yeah, but
But
remember, that was your experience because I, as a woman, have never said those things to a man. It was just an automatic. Once we agreed that we were dating intentionally, it
yeah,
wasn't like
that's intentional
you're.
dating. That's two different
it's
things.
just
As I
it's
We're
said
not
not
really
in
doing
two
this
the
different.
today.
episode.
It's
Okay.
not
They
really two
are. I
different
even
things.
chat GTP where I had chat GPT this question if there was a difference because it said according to their Webster dictionary, it is a difference. So you need to kind of look
It
into
could
it.
be, it could be,
It
but
is.
courtship, it could be. But when you're being intentional and the end goal is marriage, it can turn into a form of courtship. I think intentional dating is a form of courtship. But I don't think you necessarily have to say the words. I think it's something that you just kind of do. Like I don't ever recall a man me telling a man, "You must court me." But when they ask me what I'm looking
Exactly.
for, but when I'm asking the situation of what I'm looking for, my end goal is marriage. So I don't necessarily have to use the
Exactly.
word because the word kind of itself has a date timestamp. Like people in the 50s and 60s say you're courting. Like if you hear your grandparents saying that, oh, they courting, but they know you know what they mean when they say that. So the term modernized to intentionally dating or dating with a purpose, but it doesn't mean that the word courtship is no longer valid.
At 30 plus.
That's why I said courtship. Like you said, you don't even use the word courtship. There's only certain type of
But
women
it
that
doesn't
use the
mean
word
I don't
courtship.
want to be courted either. So two things can be
No, that's
true.
because you
Just
want to
because I
date intentional. You want to be dated. You want to be courted, or you want to date intentionally. You want both technically because you're saying that you
have
want
to sit
this
there,
to go a certain way, and
not a
it has
certain
to be
way.
intentional.
No, no, no. It has to be intentional.
See, courting is really for a certain way that a certain set of standards. Intentional, it has no standards.
That's
That's a
somebody's
lie.
opinion because
They're
intentional is
different
very.
standards.
That's an oxymoron you just used. Saying intentional has no standards. That's the point. To set the standard. It does have a standard.
Okay, the standard that is you
Casual
both have the
dating
same.
has no
The
standard.
word intentional itself has a standard. That's
Yes,
intentional.
I mean,
The
but
definition
I'm
of
saying that's
intentional.
versus courtship is two different things. That's what I'm saying. Intentional dating, y'all can set a different goal. It doesn't even have to be marriage. We can have intentional dating to where we're both intentionally only want to date each other, and this becomes a long-term relationship, but we never get married because we're intentional about the way we're moving. It doesn't have to have an end goal of marriage. Courtship has to have an end goal of marriage. That is in the definition. In intentional dating, the end is not marriage. It's a common denominator. Y'all both on the same path, wanting the same thing, and it doesn't have to end in marriage. So that
So
is
let me ask
my
you this:
You
Did you
trying
or
to
did
make
you?
it? Go ahead.
Yeah, did you? He moving to go co-host. Did you or
Yes.
did you not say that you wanted to be married? That was your end goal?
that's I have said
Hold
that
on,
is
I just
that
need a yes or
sometimes
no.
yes.
Right.
It's
So at
both
this
with
point, you
me.
want
There's
courtship.
never a
So
solid.
by your
There's never a
definition,
solid.
let's play devil's advocate here. By your definition of intentional dating and courtship, intentional dating could just be a long-term partner. Heard you. But your goal is marriage. And so that means you're doing what? You're courting. And
Now with
these
everybody, that
women
is not true.
But
but I'm
that's not.
saying
Recording is
that's your
not the.
I'm
goal.
not courting nobody. I'm not courting nobody because I'm not trying to marry nobody right now.
We didn't say right
So if
now,
I'm
sugar.
it doesn't matter. I'm not courting anybody regardless. Like I said, courting is like that's because if I do words or whatever I do it with what it's supposed to be. I'm not going to change the definition to make it fit what I want it to mean.
You do
Like if
this
I'm courting,
literally every episode. We have to read Webster. As a teacher,
well,
I've never had
so
to read this much in my life. I teach
well,
secondary
you
kids.
have to because you have to understand just because something is said what you think it is doesn't mean that's interpreted the same
No,
way as somebody else. So
it's the
just because you
curriculum.
interpret well, if you interpret it one way, it don't matter. If you interpret it as potato and I interpret it as potato, it's the same thing.
It's the
You
same
say how
thing.
you say it, and I say
All
it.
right,
But
stay
that's
there.
your
You just said it's
interpretation.
the same
No,
thing.
no,
Neat
no.
just
I'm
did that.
saying
Y'all
your
played tomato
interpretation.
tomato. But y'all played
Exactly, but it's
that
not.
and tomato. It's the
It
same
doesn't
thing.
matter.
You just said that.
But like I said, when it comes to me, if I'm courting somebody, that means I'm only talking to this person, and we've already dated, we're already in a relationship, we've already come to a conclusion that marriage is what we want. That's when this courting begins. That's
Okay.
when
That's an
that word
engagement.
kicks in. No, it's not. Because if you again, courting means leading to marriage. You can't court everybody you meet. That is crazy. That is
And no
ridiculous.
one's
And it's,
saying that you don't. No one's saying no one.
I know
That's
that,
not the argument.
At all.
I'm trying to make
but
that the argument. And if you want to talk about that, we can. But that's not the argument.
well, to me,
Neither
it's
one of
part
us
of the
said that.
argument. Regardless,
How?
it doesn't matter if you
How?
said it because if you're saying you have to intentionally date somebody, if you're intentionally dating, regardless, everybody you meet, you can't court them. It's just not what it is because you
Of
can't
course
see
you
yourself.
can't.
So you see yourself marrying every person that you try to date or intentionally date.
How are you
Like
changing
that's
my
you don't know.
words?
The
I'm
girl
not
How
saying
literally
you
you.
said
I'm
changing?
saying in
no.
general.
She
I'm
said
just
no.
saying in
No is the
general.
I
one
said you
word
Like
don't enter.
that is universal in
I
any
said you
language.
don't
She said
enter
no.
courtship with everyone, but I'm still dating intentionally. I said intentional dating
exactly.
leads to courtship, and it's a form of courtship because in order to have courtship, you have to be intentionally dating. And once you narrow down to that one person, and you say, "Okay, yes, I can see it with this person," to me, that's when the courtship begins because the end goal is marriage. What's wrong with that?
No,
I don't
that's
put a
facts.
set of
I
but
agree.
I don't put a set of rules on you have to do this, this, and this during our courtship.
Mm-mm.
I don't say,
You
hey, we have to
sure?
have dates nights on Saturday. No, I don't.
No steak night
Would you
Fridays.
like me to
Not
would you like me
required.
to phone a friend? No, I don't.
No.
Okay.
Well, that's you.
A couple
But
friends.
Yeah.
I know a few. Some people when they see courting, that means they have to be treated a certain way. That means things has to be done in a certain order.
And that's what we were trying to tell you that was your experience, and we're not trying to take away from your experience, but we're saying on a universal scale, which is who we speak to, a broader audience, that's not everybody's story. So we don't want you to stay in that mindset, and that's the expectation you
I would
set
forever be in
moving
that mindset.
forward. Well, that's your
Based,
prerogative, Bobby
Honestly,
Brown.
and based off the episode, you like I said, even the person that you were giving examples of have moved the goalposts on courtship. So she said she
exactly.
wanted every dude she dated to court her. And to me, like I said on the episode, that's not correct. It's
At
typically the
all.
one person once you narrow that down, and then the courtship begins. It's almost like boyfriend, girlfriend in a true sense. Because you're
Exactly.
really supposed to
That's
be
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
okay, so
No, that's no.
why you being so argumentative then? You
I'm
just want to
not.
be
I'm just
is
saying
this
my
what
point. Y'all arguing with me from saying my
I'm not
point. That's the
arguing with
funny part.
you. I'm not arguing with you. And I'm not saying every person that you dated you court. I never said that.
No, I'm
Oh,
just saying that's what I'm saying. Most women expect. They expect to be courted by every guy that they date. I'm not. That's what I get from women who are intentionally dating. They're saying that everybody they date has. I'm not saying even from me. I'm just saying from even my homies, from what they tell me. I'm just saying like they say that they want to intentionally date, and they're using words like, "Oh, you have to court me," when you can't court every girl that you meet. Like from the
But
you only
once you
meet.
get past it, but once you get past a certain point, yeah, you should be. If that's the case,
The
and
only
you
point
see
you
it,
should be there is when you're in a relationship with them. To me, that's
and
when the
once
courtship
you
begins
figure
for me.
out that that person is not your wife, let her go.
Yeah, exactly. But you
So
don't.
she's intentionally dating. Once you figure out that that's not your wife, let her go. Why are you playing
Can't
with
figure
oh,
it
her?
out until we date. I can't court you until
And
I'm in a
nobody said
relationship
that
with
you
you.
could. And nobody, I said
I'm
yes.
telling you.
Did I say
I'm
that?
just saying.
Did I
I'm
say
just
you
saying.
couldn't? But
That's
if I tell
what I'm
you
telling
I'm
you.
intentionally dating and you say, okay, sure, yes, heard you. That's
That's
my assignment
different.
too. And we figure out, and you're like, okay, you know what? I like you, but you may not be my wife. Let me go back to the streets. Don't sit up here and play these games with me when you know for a fact that I'm not your wife. Because yes, eventually I am going to be looking for courtship, especially at
at
this certain
40
age.
years old.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying. But I shouldn't. Those type of questions shouldn't even. If you're intentionally dating, you're intentionally dating, regardless. Like, but I'm talking
You have to
about
say that.
me meeting you on the first date, and you telling me I have to be courted, or not even meeting you. Me meeting you
Again,
on
that is your
let me finish.
story.
That's not
You can
just my
start. You
story. This is people I'm saying. I'm talking about. It don't matter if it is my story or not. Let me finish what I'm saying, regardless. So what I'm saying is, like, there's no reason why a courtship conversation should come up until you're in a relationship. Like, that's my whole thing. Like, there's no reason we should be talking courtship until we're in a relationship. Right now, we should be intentionally dating that leads to dating to relationships. Then after during relationships, that's when courting starts. Because I'm with you, you're with me. Now I'm courting you. Now I'm showing you the type of husband I can be. You're showing me the type of wife you can be. Because the end goal now is marriage. The end goal from the first date was to get to know you and your name, your life, what you from, how you come from, your background, your future plans. I don't need to be trying to court you from the moment I meet you.
okay, Nick, you want to go, or you want me to go?
Please. You
Go
do
ahead,
realize
Nick.
we said that same thing, right?
That's what's pissing
No,
me off.
you did. Cookie
You
did not
do
say that.
realize. You do
Cookie
No,
didn't
realize
say
we said
Cookie
that
what?
said
same
that.
thing, but
Cookie,
again,
not Cookie. No, Cookie, you did
oh,
not say
Yes,
okay.
that.
Cookie
Well,
did.
I'm speaking
You
for
said that,
Anika.
Nika. Yes, you
Okay,
said that.
okay. I'm speaking for
Cookie
Anika.
did say that
Yes, she
because the
did. You did.
difference. Cookie said that. Go listen to the episode because Cookie's the one that's been married. So Cookie spoke from that experience. As we're talking experience, Cookie was married. Cookie went through marriage ministry. Cookie came from a biblical standpoint. Cookie came from a worldly standpoint. Mike came from his experience, and Mike is holding that standard and that issue with everybody. Mike is projecting that one little fool that he had because we both agree
Oh my
that girl was
God.
dumb. And I don't care what
You
you
don't
feel,
need
ma'am. How you
that's
doing?
one girl out of a million.
But
Like,
that's
what
the
are you talking
point.
about?
This one girl has altered your mind so much you don't
It's a
even know
million
that.
girls who told me the same
Hold
thing that
on,
this one
please.
has.
We
What are
can
you
sing
talking about?
together. Hold on. You told me to let you finish. Let me cook. So we understand that that one girl who told you that on the first date, that one girl who texted you that was dumb too, because they moved the goalpost and it changed your ideology on the word to where you don't even want to hear the word. Heard you, but you just walked through the scenario in your timeline of what dating looks like for you, whether it's intentional and what it could lead to if possible. You're also the same person that have an extra step in dating exclusive. Exclusive dating to you is not a girlfriend. We've talked about that in a previous episode. Heard you. It still does not negate the fact that we want to be courted, whatever level that looks like. That's the point. Thank you. No, it's it.
As far as the dating timeline for me, I don't necessarily need to be courted, quote unquote, for on the very first day. But at some point, if it looked like it is going somewhere, I think the courtship will commence.
Yeah.
However, I do make it known when I first meet you that I am intentionally dating, and hopefully that will turn into marriage. Now, whether you're my husband or not, you're going to know where I stand. There's no pressure
Yeah.
on you, but we're going to date where we are in 2025. And if I'm not your assignment, and if that's not what you're looking for, cool. That's okay. I'm just not for you, and we can just end it right there. And I think that's what I'm not here to convince you. You don't
At
have to do
all.
anything you don't want to do. You don't have to date me intentionally. You don't have to court, but I also don't have to stay there. So I let my intentions be known. This is what I'm looking for, and that's it. Now, how we get there is how we get there. You take too long, you study wrong too. You
And
know what
that's
I
Get your
mean?
hands
So,
off
intentional.
that
So
man
that
wife.
huh?
What
I
you
said
say,
that's
Mike?
intentional dating, but you don't never go up to. I know for 1,000% sure you ain't never told this man that, oh, I need you to court me.
That's
That's
what
what
we
I'm saying.
saying. We agree with that.
I'm
That's
well. If you would
crazy.
listen to what I'm saying is there, and it's not just one woman. It's been millions of women who've told me that they need to be courted. Like literally, just before I even meet them or
Maybe it's
dated them,
you.
are
It's
are the
you.
ones I meet in person. I mean, it's not just me. My homies tell me this. This is why I even had this
No,
whole
I,
conversation.
I don't know your homies like that, but I know your persona. And if people don't talk to you, they wouldn't think that you are capable of being a boyfriend. Because when you're in a relationship, you that
That's
guy.
a lie. That's a lie. Everybody know okay will be a boyfriend. Watch out they love me. But that's not the point. The point that I'm saying is there are women out here that tell men that they have to court them and they don't know the definition. They don't understand the stages of courting. And that's why I wanted to say this because everybody don't have that same thing. Some women feel like, oh, you're courting me. That means from the moment pick me up, you got to open my door. I don't touch door handles. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm saying they have a list. This is my examples of the list of things that they say you have to do
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
meet them or go out with them or to even date them. Like they have these little things, but they call it courting. Like, even, okay, yeah, open your doors, courting, whatever, stuff like
Open your
that, pulling
doors,
out your
common
keys.
courtesy. The man at the
I
gas
mean,
station
yes,
open
but
doors.
that's what I'm saying. They're saying
Yeah.
when it comes to courting, if you don't do this step, you don't do that step, you don't,
Yeah.
pull my seat out, you don't plan this date.
So you mad because they want you to be a gentleman?
They want him to lead. Accountability. Look, his
See, he
internet
frozen.
said,
Ain't to see how God works.
yes, he does. He takes care of babies and fools, okay?
So maybe he come back with some,
Some
different
different
energy.
energy.
Cause
Girl,
wait,
because and these women, ladies, if you have dated Fly and he is talking about you, please go tell this man you sorry because this baby is holding on to this. And I need him to release that demon like yesterday at 40. Because we're not doing this. We're just not playing the blame game. And you will not convince two women that we are that and we're little. The fact that he know us upsets me.
and
He
I just
acting
think
like
the
he don't
overall
know us.
screen. Well, like I mentioned on the episode, if the people that he's having this discussion with are putting it like that, then
Yeah,
realistically, they aren't doing it properly either.
they aren't. And they
So
don't know. And they probably was taught wrong, from whoever and whatever man. And it sounds like a bunch of projection.
on both sides.
Yes,
Because
yes.
again, it's not just a men thing, it's men and women. People listen to social media. And while we do a podcast, I still wish that they would raise the mic of podcast equipment because just listening to some of these people is just crazy. The what you bring to the table, ideology, and you got to do this, this, and this in order to achieve this. When it's not a cookie cutter situation on any of it.
It's
However, it's
not.
not going to change my mind that dating intentional is eventually, if with the right person, going to lead to a form of courtship, whether it's voluntary or involuntary. And I think that's the part he's missing.
And like you said, after a certain I know for a fact you and I never ain't said, hey, this what you know. Welcome back, Joe. How you
Yeah, I
doing?
don't know what's going on.
What happened?
The Lord
I
take
want to
care of
say
food
my
and
computer
baby.
turned off. Hey, he didn't want me to finish that.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
told you
That's
it
a
was
lie.
hot down there. You better be
Nah,
cool. You got a bottle of water?
nah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but we were just
Um,
saying in your absence how it's misquoted, misdefined on both ends, and that's the problem. And so it seems like the projection is on both ends because you've been told incorrectly, they've been told incorrectly, and they're trying to have a stipulation. And one thing about me, if I gotta tell you how to be with me, I don't want you, sugar. I want to be soft girl, don't know nothing with my man. I do not want to be sitting here telling you, put the food at 325 degrees. Walk this way. Wear this shirt. I'm not doing all that. And I do not have daddy issues. So that's another thing. I don't. I don't. I'm not looking for a daddy. He is alive and well. I'm not looking for a daddy. I'm not looking for a dictator. I'm looking for a helpmate. 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 Partnership. Together. Conglomerate. Merger. However
You
y'all
gotta
want to look at
totally
it.
get that.
It's understood.
Exactly.
But again, this is a previous married woman, number one. So you absolutely, if that was my 20 standard, you think almost 40, I ain't going for that. You crazy. Yeah, nah, not happening. But again, I don't have
So
to
I have
have
a
a set of
question
rules either. I agree with you on that. A set of rules is crazy.
because I just feel like courtship is not really necessary. The reason I say that is there's people who meet people in 2 days, be married, in a month be married, or
Hmm.
elope that night and be, they didn't even have time
Yeah,
to what you would say would be a courtship
yeah.
because they've already instantly had that a lot. So I just feel like the word courtship means that I have to do something in order to prove my love to you instead of it being a natural balance of things.
Okay.
That's why I don't like that word. It's more of empowerment, I feel like, as a controlling word. Like I don't like it. It's controlling.
So let me ask you this: if you found someone that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with, what would you do to show her that?
Great
If you
um,
found
question.
your wife,
I don't know. I haven't found her, so
leading
I
up
can't
to
say.
before you propose, in your mind, you have a way
Um,
of doing things. When you find that person, what you think you'll do? What does that look like?
um,
What does that look like for you?
basically just expressing my love to them in whatever love language that they have.
You know what you just did?
No,
Courtship. It is.
that's like I don't feel like that's courtship.
It's very much so courtship. So you're trying to make it more so of a financial thing when that's not it.
No,
Courtship is
I feel
literally
like
showing.
courtship has nothing to do with money.
Courtship, exactly. So what's the problem with that? You're literally showing that the person that you found that could possibly be your wife, why she should be your wife, and you're going to express your love, no matter how that looks to you, whether it be a love language, whether it be dates, whether anything that you feel like to prove to her or show her. I'm gonna say prove. That's the wrong word. To show her that she's important to you, and you want to make this a forever thing. That's courtship. And courtship don't have a bad thing, but you're making it a negative connotation because the world has made it a negative connotation. But realistically, if you found the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, you wouldn't even care about any of that because you're automatically going to get information. And she is too.
I still don't feel like it'd be courting. I feel like it'd be more of a
You
natural.
just don't like the word, but in actuality, you're definitely
That's
doing
because of what
courtship.
That's because I'm going off of the definition, and
You're
it's
going off
like
social media. You're going off social media. And you're going off these new women who don't know what the hell courtship is. Yes, you are.
Ooh, they
Because if they
cussing
got
their
to give,
mamas out in Spain.
I said hell.
I
We said
know.
hell 5 times in this episode. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what you're doing. If it was just a standard, you could show someone that you appreciate them and that you want them in your world, you wouldn't have a problem with that. You have a word because people have changed courtship and they have moved the goalposts on what courtship means. When actuality, at the end of the day, it just means that the end goal is marriage. You found this person, you settle down, and this is who you're going to court.
hoping that you
Something
would
wrong
end
with
up
them.
marrying them.
The end goal.
I still,
Huh?
well, for all intensive what it say, all intensive purposes, I will not be courting anyone.
That's great.
I love that for you. Let me know how that works out.
Me too.
Been working fine. I
Is it?
just, yeah,
What's her name?
huh?
What's her name?
What I call her? Which one?
Oh, well, you're not courting either. You're
Exactly. I'm
definitely
not
not
courting
courting.
nobody.
That's
There's no
okay.
point for it.
You're dating. Two different words, two different meanings.
I'm chilling.
That's okay.
I'm
That's fine.
FWB.
I hate him, yo.
No, I'm lying. Look, it's a new one. I'm sorry. It's my FWP, my friend with privileges.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a
Listen, no
grown man.
victims. Yep, no victims, only volunteers. If that baby got time to waste and you do too, I love that for both of y'all. It's called a common ground. We have an episode called Dating Where You Are. So y'all are in that. I love that for y'all.
And fair exchange
That's
is not robbery.
yep.
So I have
Exactly.
nothing to say about that. If you're a grown woman and she wants to entertain you in those antics, then she is more than welcome to do so. I ain't even saying she wrong for that. And I'm not saying that each connection you end in has to be courtship. Date where you are. That's fine. She might not be on that kind of time. Cool.
Or I'm definitely not.
I'm
So
not judging. I'm not judging, but there
of
is
course
a
not.
time for that. Yeah. Be great.
That's what it is. Friends with privileges. That's the term.
If that's what kind of time she's on, then that is absolutely fine. I have nothing to say about that. That's
There's no
okay.
court needed.
Not at all. Are
What
you
was
okay with that?
the yeah? What was
Well,
the
that's what I'm about to transition to the 30 plus
yeah,
therapy. Yeah, are you
yeah,
getting
that's what
tired of
what was
you getting tired of explaining yourself today? Are you
Nah,
done?
I'm just wondering. Yeah, I'm good.
After you done, are you can?
Oh yeah. All I know
Okay.
is we not courting in 2025.
Hey, it's your world. I'm just renting.
We'll try again next year.
Okay. On to 30 plus therapy. Let's help the
All
people
Uh,
since we can't help you this evening.
right.
So on the
I
30
hope
plus
I helped
therapy,
y'all.
you can help me.
Help me
What you
realize I would never date you. I can tell you that.
what you mean you
Again,
trying to help?
I'm trying to help Mike.
You trying to help Ike? What you mean you trying to help Ike? I ain't the one that need help.
Girl,
I'm trying to
Just
girl,
help.
what?
girl, I just added that to
What
my
was
list. Wait till we get off of this and I talk to y'all nephews. And another thing, don't ever in your life.
Mm.
Because what? I'm
I'm
raising
taking
kings, baby. You better not.
you can. It's more than one type of king. Uh, Go ahead. What was the question?
Do you want to go and talk about what 30 plus therapy was, or would you like me to introduce it?
Yeah, introduce it so we can talk about
Wow.
it.
Okay. So 30 plus therapy is a segment on our episode where our listeners, you people, can give us a question and we will try our best to answer it. Like we say after every episode, none of us are therapists, clearly. So we give you
Thank God.
so we're going to help you. And feel free to comment while we are discussing everything. We can't see anything on Instagram Live. Hopefully you guys recognize that now. And you can give us your thoughts on head over to YouTube at the 30 plus podcast and comment. Let Mike know how you feel.
About courtship, fellas, where y'all at? You understand me? Like, I know y'all get this courtship situation. Pull up and tell them, bro. Like, come on, man. If not, when you re-listen to this, reach out to me then, and I'll go live
Can
with you
read
just
you
so
some
y'all can tell
comments.
them.
Or
Can
comment
read you.
on the page. You can do that
Yeah.
too.
That too.
Comment
Like
on
I
the
can read you
YouTube
some
channel.
comments right now. You had my DMs popping. Like I
Come
was
on.
new
Well,
to
go ahead.
social
Before
media.
we get into 30 plus therapy, do you want to read some of those comments?
I would love to.
Yes, please.
Okay. We're gonna keep it anonymous because I don't want any hate mail to this gentleman from Fly.
Oh,
Not
no,
saying
you good.
I
Okay.
do it, but
I
okay.
might.
So let's see.
Oh.
Oh, right. Buddy was going in. Which episode? The latest one about courtship. Me. Oh, he makes my donkey itch. Use the proper word. He said, I'm dead. You got me rolling. Are you sure y'all are not siblings? Yes, I am. He says, I don't understand what kind of man at that age wants to waste his time. Personally, can I do that? But I am also a married man and have been married since 28. I am now 43. But I do know in this day and age, everyone has changed definitions of things, and everybody kind of have a no plans, just vibe attitude. Whatever is clever, I think as a man, though, he needs to lead. That's from the desk of a black man, if you want to know
Okay.
ethnicity. Okay.
Okay, well that's good then, because that means I'm leading you to these dates, and then I'm leading you
That
to
man
a
got a wife.
relationship,
He's
and
happy.
then I will lead you during. I'm still not gonna use the word courting, but I will show you love and affection and live in the purpose of trying to marry you. But I will not
Y'all,
try
it's a Libra.
to purposely.
Gaslight.
That's not gaslight, but I will
Gaslight.
not purposely court you. I will definitely do all the things that need to be done to make you feel like you want to be married, but that's about it.
I can't wait until he find his wife.
Oh, girl. Can we talk at the wedding? Can we talk at your wedding,
Me
Fly?
too. Yeah, that's the whole point. What you talking about?
I
Thank
can't
you in
wait.
But first of
advance.
all, if y'all got about a good 5 more years, so
Don't
May not
tell
come when you
us.
want it, but it's right on time.
Hey, before that, that's
I'll
why
put
I'm
this in
feeling
my
for mine.
calendar. April 14th, 2025, 5 years from
I'm
now.
not getting married in April, but
No,
yeah.
I'm saying that that's just a timeline where I can do a check-in if it ain't happened by then to see where you at. Hopefully you had an engagement at minimum.
We'll see.
We're moving on to 30 plus therapy. Again, if you guys have any comments about anything that we talked about this evening, don't be shy. Go ahead and comment on our YouTube page. We can throw some comments on the screen there. And if you have a question, feel free to ask those too. For our IG listeners, we cannot see those comments anymore. We head on over to YouTube at the 30 Plus podcast page and join the conversation. We'll love to hear from you. So, moving on to the 30 Plus podcast, 30 Plus therapy, we had a question come in on basically how women after 35 feel like there is a shot clock on how life should be lived, where it be marriage, having kids, and she feels that men do not have that same timeline. And what were our thoughts on that? Anybody want to go first?
Oh, here, Cook. What was your thoughts?
They aren't. They really aren't. Do you all still plan on marriage? Absolutely. Yes, Rashad,
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I know that's my story.
If it happens,
Well, I say if it happens, it happens. Neek know that's her
yeah.
story too. Yeah, we know. It's a good question though.
I would
That's a
like
great
to be. I would like to be married. Yeah.
Do y'all feel so? Basically, like her question says, since y'all at a certain age, do you feel like the pressure for marriage is higher for y'all than it is for men?
No, as I said on the oh yeah, yeah, for women for sure.
Yeah.
And as I said, as a woman who was married so young, the pressure was then just because of the stigmas of shacking and kind of habitating without any type of commitment or anything. Because my ex-husband and I, we wasn't even boyfriend and girlfriend. We went straight to a
Oh,
marriage. Yeah.
right. I was
So,
on that. See, no courtship was needed, huh?
oh, I got
Continue.
courted. I did get
Oh,
courted. We just didn't stick to the Mike definition. Oh,
okay.
oh,
That is crazy.
Mhm.
Oh man, that is
the
Well,
wild.
oh,
well,
that proves
Well,
my theory that he got him in the bag and be acting like he just so against it. So when that lady act right, you gone. Let me
she
Rashad,
ain't
send me
gonna
that
ever
lady
act right,
number
so
so we can
let's
get this
go.
lady to act right. You don't
Mm-mm.
think so, Fly?
She ain't, oh, I know for a fact she never will. Me and her will never be anything. I know that for a million percent in my heart.
So she
oh,
hurt you. Give you
Mm-mm,
your
she ain't hurt me.
Valentine candy.
She actually give me stuff all the time, but no.
yeah.
Anyway, so yes, I do feel that the pressure is more so on women because of different variables. One, like Nick said, we are more career driven. So we're now focusing on career. We're equal. We've equaled the playing field. We've leveled it out. So there's no need where I feel like back then it was like your worth and your value was based on if you were married, if you had children, you know, your husband was that icon. And men are taught, like they can do whatever, they'll grow up. It's just a man. He got to mature, but we're expected to be mature as soon as we hit 18, and I don't think that's fair.
I
Disgusting.
expect it's just it's just a known fact that women mature quicker than men. Most men don't mature till they're around the age of 41, 42 ish. These are just studies that I've seen randomly throughout my life.
Artists. I need to look that up. I ain't never know
Yeah,
that.
look it up. It's a fact. Um,
By
but
my dating experience, I can agree to that.
but
I
that's
go
true.
there. I was trying to let them sleeping dogs fly. You hear?
Mm-mm.
No, that's
We'll
true.
agree on something tonight.
So that might be another reason why women have that stigma and shot clock feeling pressure to get married and get life done. When they in their 30s, because of that. They mature faster. They,
Mhm.
they're more known to have their life together at an earlier age. Yes, Rashad.
Rashad on your head.
But
That's so
as far
Shakespearean.
as men, since men are known to mature later, men are known to you know, get their life together later, get out of the player mode later and all that stuff like that. It's more acceptable for them when they're older because they had to grow out of that type situation. That's the excuses that they use on it. As I said, and it's all just society pressures that are all made up in everybody's head. As if anybody who listens to this knows that I'm me and I live differently and think differently than everybody. So I don't let those things dictate how I move, and I don't feel like you should either. There are no real pressures on anyone's lives. There's only the pressures that you make up in your head because somebody told you, or you heard, and it made you feel that way. Those feelings are not true. Those are just your insecurities. And that is from a hood therapist named Michael, aka Fly the Fixer. I like that one. Remember, we keeping that for 30 plus therapy. Fly the Fixer is my new one. All right.
No.
Watch. That's the new one.
But coming from the Pink Starburst General, and everybody know that's the hoodie Yana Ben's on.
Big General.
The truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, yeah, there are pressures for women to speed up their process, not because of necessarily social pressure. Sometimes it's biological pressure. So if you're looking to have kids and kids are the main goal, while women are having children later in life now, at the end of the day, there is more of a shot clock in that regard for women than there is for men. A man can have a child at 80. Do we advise it? No, but possibly and biologically they could. So I think some women kind of speed up the process because, okay, well, time is ticking out on me. How does this look? And so I think that's where they kind of speed up the process because at the end of the day, women want to have kids with their husband. So I think in that regard, it speeds up the clock. But at the end of the day, I think the pressure, like you said, shouldn't be on you. It'll happen when it happens because a lot of time you make these rash decisions because you feel like you're on the time clock and you end up marrying the wrong person. Then you stuck with I don't say stuck with kids. That's wrong. But you having kids with a person who is really not your assignment, which I don't know if that's what most people want anyway, but that's what ended up happening. So I think that kind of makes the pressure where people just kind of start settling at a certain point. And speaking for me personally, I rather hold off on the marriage thing until I find my person than to just sit up there and marry the first person who wants to marry me because I feel like I'm on some type of social clock. That I'm not on. And if and no kids come there, then that just wasn't my assignment. I don't have that type of pressure on me. So that's just me. But everybody doesn't think like that either. So I can see how someone would feel that way.
Yeah, those responsibilities that don't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
guess
Shar.
that's
A
true
lot of
too.
people are okay with no kids, and that is fine. I'm glad I made the
Me.
I'm glad I made the cut to where I'm still young enough and fine enough, and my kids old enough to watch themselves, to where I can be Stella without asking for a babysitter. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
No, that's actually the reason too. I mean, I feel like if you are gonna have kids, you either have them young. I mean, you should have them young so you can grow up with them versus watching them grow up. I mean, it's a
No,
difference.
I ain't gonna hold you. I would have rather lived my best life and just be not trying to get pregnant. I ain't finna hold you. Cause baby, I gave them kids the best I got like Anita. I'm trying to get a special in.
Mm.
Yeah, no, but I mean, to each his own. Like we talked about, everybody's journey is not the same. Everybody's path is not the same. For me, my kids slowed me down. I was a hothead. I was a rebel. I had other things going on that I needed that to happen. Ain't no telling where I would be. So that was my story. That's not everybody's story. That's not your story. That's not Nick's story. You know, I have friends now who are in their mid 40s having children and getting married. You know what I'm saying? And it's the beauty is I'm equipped to help, you know. It don't bother me that the little baby is crying and we don't know why. That don't bother me because I went through that 4 times already when I didn't have patience. Now I have patience. So it's just cool. Give me the
Reason
baby.
number 13, I don't want no babies. Right on crying in the middle of the night. I can't have the random loud noises no more.
Well, everybody baby is the same. Like my children didn't cry in the middle of the night. And the reason being is I didn't let them stay in the nursery. My kid was with me. So, because the nurses, I told y'all they be playing with your baby all hours of the night. That's why your baby be confused because it's waiting on Nurse Ling Ling to come over there and rock. And he not understanding why his mama is asleep, but because I'm not her. So that's one thing too, a feeding schedule. Um, Parenting in general is not there's not a manual for that. I have 4 different kids. Some of them have the exact same DNA and they are still different. I have to parent all of them differently. And it's the same thing with a newborn. Your baby might be cool to drink 3, 4 ounces, every 4, 5 hours. Let me tell you about Trey. Trey needed to eat every 30 minutes and he stood on that and he's still that way today. Like, so he's gonna cry. He's hungry. He don't care. He's sleepy. He's gonna eat. So it's the same thing with this situation. You kind of got to navigate what's best for you and navigate that route. I mean, we see people get married all the time, 80 years old, and they have it just smiling.
That's true.
Yeah,
Like,
and like we said on the episode, at the end of the day, no matter when it happens or if it happens at all, it all is still beautiful. You know what I mean? Getting
Yes.
married after
Yes.
50 is still beautiful. Having kids after 40 is still beautiful. Changing a career, job, anything that people think that the pressures that you put on yourself after a certain age, no matter when you achieve those things, are just as beautiful and still an accomplishment.
that's
So
facts.
that's my thoughts on the situation. But the pressure
I
is
agree.
societal pressure, and at the end of the day, truth be told, biological pressure. Men have that same. They don't have that same timeline we do, and it's just the truth of the matter. I hate to say it, it's true. You see, Mike shaking his head. Mike don't care. Mike is
Sure
happy when
don't.
it happened. Mike could get married
Yeah,
to 60, huh?
Yeah, Mike just
exactly.
a second win as we speak. He back out here, his hoochie daddies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I get married when the time is right and I meet the right person. I don't believe in just doing something to say I did it. I'm not doing it to appease nobody else. I'm doing it to appease me because I'm the one got to live with her. So that's how it goes with me. Like I'm not just about to marry nobody or settle down with nobody just cause. No, nope. I need what I need. If you can't provide that, then I will stay single until I find somebody who can, or just keep 2 or 3 until it is what it is, until the end. Look, hold on, let me remix it. That could be bars. Look.
And
Till
as
we end,
always,
I keep
we
two.
appreciate you guys for tuning into the 30 Plus podcast because I already know where this is going. And when he does that, it's time to tie it to a balloon and
And let it go.
let it go. So make sure you are following the 30 Plus podcast on all social media. Make sure you watch our episodes so you can be informed and speak to our 30 Plus live episode recap. This is basically a recap of our show that released previously. We release every other Thursday, and that's pretty much it.
Oh,
Any last words? Yes.
that's crazy contest.
Oh, yeah. You want to
Oh
talk about
yeah,
your
somebody.
contest?
Yeah, somebody did come through and win the Fly 50 Names contest. They sent me a list of all the names that I forgot I used. And forget for Fly. But appreciate you, Rashad. But we want to
Thank
shout
you.
out Dream Chasers all the way in the Philippines. She was an international listener. She says she
Okay.
loves our show and she's been binge watching it and listening to every episode. And she is she's part of the Fly Found fan club. I might remake that a thing. Fly Found fan club. Yeah, we gotta think about that. But anyway, shout out to her for going through, listening to all the episodes, and sending me a list of all the episodes. She got her $50. We got to see about sending her shirt because tariffs is crazy now. So we'll get into that later.
Hold on, wait. You sent her $50 for real?
Yeah, I gave her money. She won. So I sent to her 2,700, whatever Philippine money translation that is. She's over there living nice. And I hope you, when you watch this, you shout us out again. We appreciate you for it.
I'm proud of you. All
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Get
he
her
ain't
to
a
get her
scam.
shirt.
I give him that. I knew when he said he was gonna do it, he was gonna do it. I know he ain't a
Oh, yeah.
scammer, so I wouldn't
Facts.
worry about that. But
Well, I
more
wasn't
to come.
concerned until at the end of his speech, he said, I don't know, baby. Maybe not. Wait a minute. Don't have me out here
You gotta
marketing
see
your
what this.
contest.
Shout out to the other people though that participated and sent in theirs a little late. She was on it the quickest, so she got hers. Shout out y'all too anyway, just for participating and for listening. And shout out to the Fly Fam fan club. We're gonna start
Girl,
that.
send him a sponsorship package.
We're gonna start that. I'm glad to be.
Again, we appreciate you guys for tuning into the 30 Plus podcast. And like we like to say after every episode, be good. And if you can't be good, at least be good at it. See you when we see ya. Peace.
Deuces. Get me out of here.